You look at yourself in the mirror, exhausted and hollowed out, and whisper to yourself, almost ashamed to admit it out loud, "Why do I always choose the wrong people?" But you step toward them anyway, pulled by something deeper than logic, something woven into your nervous system long before you ever had a choice. It isn't your conscious mind choosing these people. It's your childhood, your early wiring, the emotional blueprints you never asked for, but still carry inside you. The very pattern that once protected you, your instinct to please, to adapt, to absorb responsibility, is now the pattern quietly destroying your relationships. You are drawn to the people who feel like your childhood, who recreate the emotional texture of your earliest years, even when those years left wounds you've never fully healed. Familiar suffering feels safer than unfamiliar peace because the nervous system clings to what it knows, even when what it knows has always hurt you. The attunement you didn't receive, the comfort that never came, the emotional presence that was always missing, those absences shape you just as powerfully as any trauma. When you grow up emotionally underfed, love becomes something you chase, perform for, and attempt to earn, not something you feel organically worthy of receiving. You live in a constant internal scan, watching for shifts in tone, subtle changes in mood, small signs of danger, because that hypervigilance once kept you emotionally safe. You will unconsciously be drawn to partners who validate your wounds, who reflect your old beliefs about yourself, who feel right only because they feel familiar. The emotional cost of living like this is enormous, but because you're so used to carrying it, it becomes an invisible burden you barely notice anymore. You silence your truth, swallow your anger, shrink your needs, all in the desperate hope that doing so will keep someone from abandoning you. What feels like fate or bad luck is really just a wound reenacting itself, repeating a story you've never been taught how to rewrite. The deepest fear is that real intimacy will expose how unworthy, unlovable, or flawed you secretly feel. A fear that drives you to choose unavailable partners. So you move through your days choosing your words carefully, afraid that a single misstep might trigger rejection, conflict, or disappointment. You might overachieve, overwork, or overperform to compensate for the emotional instability you feel inside, trying to earn your value externally. You absorb blame, even when it's not yours, because you'd rather take responsibility than risk losing the relationship. These behaviors aren't your personality. They're coping mechanisms you learned in order to survive environments that never made space for your true self. You hide your struggles behind competence and kindness, wanting to appear strong even as you quietly crumble inside. Healing isn't some dramatic, cinematic transformation. It's a reunion with the version of you who learned love through survival. Reparenting means becoming the presence you never had, offering yourself the safety, gentleness, and permission to feel that your childhood denied you. Softness isn't weakness. It's the natural state that emerges when survival mode finally stops gripping your nervous system.